Hello, guys. Hope you're doing well. This is TJ, and you're listening to Beyond the Ring podcast. And welcome to Reliving the 80s Classics, a weekly series where I discuss and review Mid Atlantic Championship Wrestling's episodes on a weekly basis. So, today we're going to focus on 28th November 1981 episode, and this show was taped on 25th November 1981 at WPCQ TV studios in Charlotte, North Carolina, and it's aired on 28th November 1981. So, without any further ado, let's get into this review then. To listen to the past episodes, please check out the complete playlist that I have attached onto the I button on the upper right corner. So let's get into this then. So the show actually starts off with, as usual, Bob Caudle and David Crockett introducing themselves, and they actually says who are all gonna be in this show. And they said that Jake the Snake Roberts, Roddy Piper, Ricky Steamboat, Ole Anderson, these big star. They actually name drops big names who are going to be there, in this show. So the same this I mean the usual stuff that they do, and we get right out of the bat into a first tag team match as Blackjack Mulligan and Jake the Snake Roberts faces Charlie Fulton and Nikolai Volkov. So Nikolai Volkov, this is the first time that I'm seeing him, and Charlie Fulton, we have seen him, and Jake the Snake Roberts is kind of trademark to the Mid-Atlantic area for now. We've been doing the reviews weekly. He's been in every show, so that story is going good as well, the face versus heel story. So let's get into this the match. Actually, this match was a pretty okay opener, I would say. It was as I said, I had a two feeling in this match, as I felt like Jake the Snake Roberts and Charlie Fulton actually worked out very well in this match. It's always enjoyable to watch Jake the Snake Roberts transitioning with his strikes, his shoulder tackles, his punches, and his takedowns, his controlling power, and all that stuff he brings about. It's a treat to watch. And Charlie Fulton actually also sold it well, and it was very good. In the start of the match, Roberts actually takes down Fulton with hip toss and goes to side headlock, controlling him, catches, then he whips him into the ropes, and Roberts gets Volkov in a headlock and tags in Mulligan. Volkov then shoves Mulligan off, and they try to lock up again, and Mulligan gets Volkov with an arm drag. Volkov gets some few kicks in, and Mulligan then slams him. So pretty traditional wrestling that we've been seeing still now. And then we get Nikolai Volkov gets Mulligan in an arm bar, and pulls his hair to take him down. Mulligan fights back and slams Volkov and then punches him off. So this match was moving. As I said, Blackjack Mulligan and Nikolai Volkov had their separate moment where they were working out, but that was a moment where I actually thought about that this match kind of was dragging, but still it was a pretty fair match, a pretty okay match, as I said. And in the end, we saw Roberts actually gets a backdrop on Fulton and tags in Mulligan, and Mulligan gets Fulton with a claw, and Volkov interferes. Roberts drop kicks Volkov out of the ring, and Mulligan slams Fulton and cover him for the win. So the ending as well, it was kind of a abrupt ending, I could say that, because the ending was kind of not very satisfiable. I can say that, because the camera angle that they show Jake the Snake Roberts standing on the apron, and Fulton actually not Fulton, Nikolai Volkov actually standing outside the ring. So that was a camera angle that they thought they actually didn't show how the match actually got finished. They actually panned out the camera just into the right moment where he was spinning, so they didn't show us that as well. So kind of a production error as well. So we can't say anything, because it's 81 guys, so we cannot say anything. And but still there's 20 to 40 cuts that WWE makes in every weekly show. So we are not saying that, we are digesting that. So it's pretty decent, pretty fair. I mean, they are doing this as well at that time. So nothing to complain about that. And I'm glad that I'm getting these records, and I'm getting these episodes and all. And that's the thing that we are very glad about, and very lucky about. I can say that. And we after the match we saw Blackjack Mulligan joins Coral for an interview, and Mulligan says he cuts kind of a babyface promo. He's a babyface here, and he apologizes that he's not in a great shape. He asks what people think of the Texas connection with Jake the Snake, because they are both from the Texas. And he liked their tag team match, and Blackjack impressed with the amount of talent in mid-Atlantic area. So Blackjack Mulligan, he's the first time he's getting into this mid-Atlantic area, I suppose, because of this promo that he cut. So they air an interview with a matchmaker, Sandy Scott. Then he talks about the transition into that situation, and this is the same situation that actually was last week, because there's a talking point in the that's been going on, that he talks about trying to bring Sandy Scott is trying to bring new talents from other territories and areas, and he talks about how can he get, and one way he can get is from kind of ensuring them that you ensuring them have to have a tournament, to have a winner, and to get a reward or something, that actually that is the thing that they can excite, and they are ready to get into this mid Atlantic area. That's the thing that he's doing, that there's a match that's gonna be happening. They didn't say that it's gonna be tournament, or it's gonna be kind of another over the top battle royal or something. The winner gets 1982 Cadillac car, and this is a prize that's getting. And Sergeant Slaughter interrupts and says he's the number one talent in the world. He also wants more talent, but doesn't think they are on the level of him. And Sergeant Slaughter is so good, man. I mean, I've been saying this in every week's episode. He just portrays his character so perfectly, and I mean, he just justifies his character very well. And that actually, and actually, I like the thing when we go down the line the show. I would discuss that they had a match of his protege Jim Nelson, and that completely actually shook me. I mean, I would talk about that. And after that, after this discussion, they air a complete version of Tommy Rich match again versus Tony Russo, and a pretty good match. I mean, but the apart from the match, the main point was the promo of Sergeant Slaughter, and after that, some minutes, Roddy Piper comes up, and it became entertaining, man. And Roddy Piper, you know how good he is, and he praises Rick's strategy and says he has that too, and Slaughter says he's the greatest. And Roddy Piper joins, as I said, them on commentary, and also talks about the match. And this situation completely got changed over, because Roddy Piper promo is so good and fun to listen. It's so funny, yet very smart as well. And Slaughter tells Piper that he might have to wrestle him for the Cadillac, which Piper tells Slaughter that he apologizes because it's going to be a long day for him. And Piper then mentions that Rich can't do any of the moves that he's doing to Russo, and they actually Piper actually show at a moment when the match was played out. He says the boss, the Luthes press, the finisher of Tommy Rich, that was botched finish, which he pointed out. I would be never doing that. See, this is the error I will never do about that. And this is the number one talent. I mean, I can cut that type of promo, man. You should enjoy this kind of a thing. If you have WWE Network, go watch this stuff. And Slaughter and Piper covered by saying Russo countered with a belly punch, and Roddy Piper and Sergeant Slaughter continue to talk about, and they shift to the after the match, they shift to finally we see Roddy Piper and the Sergeant Slaughter cutting the promo. I was very glad to see him, because I mean, they were kind of giving the voiceover. Can I see him? I mean, can I see him? I was thinking about that, and continue to talk about winning the Cadillac, about how being they are. I mean, they could be winning the match and getting the 1982 Cadillac. And Sandy Scott then shows another number one video of Angelo Moscow. Last week we had seen, and his match with Steve King and Moscow. And this is a match from, I think, from Vince McMahon promotion. I don't know which promotion that was. It's WWF, I think so, at that time. So Vince McMahon was on the commentary in that footage, and Moscow is shown just speeding on Steve King, and completely decimating him, completely destroying him. Sergeant Slaughter says Moscow is big and vicious, but he's going to beat and he's going to lose to him, he says, and he walks over, and then comes Roddy Piper's turn, and he says Black Charles Morrison is not number one, but he makes people sweat. He was told by his family to win the Cadillac, or they are going to leave him. And he and Junior Barry Windham are out to win the tournament. He calls Angelo Mosco the filthiest wrestler and pro football player, as they add a recap of Big John Studd slapping Blackjack Mulligan Jr., and Mulligan said he wants payback for doing that to his son. That was a good piece of storytelling that was there. And Blackjack Mulligan versus Big John Studd. That was the so they are also cutting promos for other territories as well, other territory storylines as well. So it's pretty difficult to follow off the wrestler's career, because they actually do the matches in every area or something. So it's pretty difficult, but still multiple rivalries are going on at that time, that territory days. So this was a Blackjack Mulligan promo, and as I said, Roddy Piper promo, I completely missed on that. And Roddy Piper says that he's gonna win the 1982 Cadillac, and he's a mid Atlantic champion, and it means something. So he would be decimating all of them, and he would be destroying all of them, and he would be winning the thing, he says. And pretty good, I mean, good segment, I would say. This was a just to have that situation playing out, just to have that I mean that tournament or match that they're gonna do. But the promo itself by both Sergeant Slaughter and especially Roddy Piper was entertaining. And Sergeant Slaughter joins Bob Caudle and immediately insults then Wahoo McDaniel by calling him Squahoo McDaniels. He mentions how last week he bought a contract for Wahoo to sign. He didn't, and Slaughter says he's done with Wahoo, and now this challenge is open to anyone in this roster, and anyone can challenge me for the U.S. champion and US championship, as Sergeant Slaughter is a US champion and just represents that championship very well, man. Just that character and gimmick suits very well. And he also says that if anyone can break out that Cobra clutch, the another bounty comes up, he will give them $1,000. So there's $1,000 from Sergeant Slaughter, and there's a 1982 Cadillac. So it's a treat for actually to join mid Atlantic area in a kayfabe manner, because you get $1,000 as well as a car as well. That's a pretty sweet deal. I mean, don't show. We are not sure that he would be breaking Cobra Clutch or something. We don't know. Starter then points to the ring as his new protege Jim Nelson is about to wrestle, and this was a quick match as well. This was a good squash, and Jim Nelson got the time, and he actually showcased his talent. It was good. I mean, Jim Nelson, he was placed in a tag team situation when he joined with Sergeant Slaughter, becoming the protege and following the rules of this his gimmick, his sergeant and military gimmick that he's doing. It just suits him well, and he's perked up as well. So it was pretty stuff. Nelson starts off with an elbow at Larson's neck and focusing on escaping a chin lock, and Nelson escaping a chin lock, and Nelson quick to get back to his feet and attacks him. Nelson gets Larson onto a chin lock again. So mostly Nelson was the one. Jim Nelson was displaying the thing, but Keith Larson also get a moment as well, a moment of offense as well, as he escaped the arm, as he escaped the chin lock and get to the and wrenches his arm, Jim Nelson's arm, and Nelson gets Larson in a headlock again, but he escapes and gets Nelson in a hammerlock. And Slaughter heads out to the ring, kind of worried that if he could lose, and he states that if he lose, then there's a major that is a major thing that he's gonna uh, that is gonna be waiting for him. And Slaughter heads over to the ringside area to scream at Nelson. Nelson slams Larson, and then Nelson lands an elbow on him. And he actually also said in the promo while he was on the podium actually, and Sergeant Slaughter says that he actually had give him the training to how to apply the Cobra Clutch, and he eventually applies the Cobra Clutch, and Nelson clotheslines Larson and then applies the Cobra Clutch. And actually, he didn't submit it. he actually locked in the acrobat clutch and drive him to the mat, and he was pinned 1 2 3. A good squash. The story as well was good, and Jim Nelson was very good, and Sergeant Slaughter's promo was very good, man. I mean, how he was doing his character very well. One of the strongest point of this episode. I mean, this he him and Roddy Piper was the strongest point here. Jim Nelson's good squash match as well. I liked it. I like the intensity of this match. Really, not the best match or something, not over top match you can see, but still I like the work that they. I like the story that he told. Squash match, but still they told a very good story. I'm very intrigued nowadays. They do squash matches with no reason and no with no story. I mean, can't compare that. That's thing the classics are meant to be. And we get to Ricky Steamboat, and he brings a long kind of plastic bag, and Bob Caudle says, "Is this a laundry bag that you're carrying on?" And he says, "It's not a laundry bag." And he says that he is actually getting the fans letters, and he actually goes out over to every week to Jim Crockett to have that Mid-Atlantic Championship match against Roddy Piper. Eventually, this match is going to happen, and it would be a great match, man. I mean, Ricky Steamboat versus Roddy Piper. I mean, it would be so good, man. Big, I mean, very good heel, smart heel versus the very good over the top and baby face and wrestling style. It's also very complimenting kind of style, both of them. And the plastic bag contains a ton of fan mail, and he shows that as well. And he says there are 3 bags full of letter. Steamboat says that every time he gets a bag full of mail, he puts it on Jim Crockett's desk. He asks again that Piper give him that one singles match, that Piper isn't accepting that, and he isn't discussing about that in his promo. Is completely avoiding that. So a good promo by Eastern Board containing that babyface versus heel storyline. Good. And we get to very good stuff again. Another good squash, Ninja versus Vinny Valentino. And Ninja is so good. I mean, so promising. I mean, I don't know. They are just bringing him for some weeks or something. They don't know, but his matches are good to watch. Style is different, kind of a martial art kind of style that he puts upon. Very hard and very uh, very stiff kind of thing that he does. The chops as well. What chops as well was so hard, just like Wahoo McDaniel and Ricky Steamboat's chops and all. And that chop actually shook my ear actually. And referee tells Ninja and Jim Holiday that the Ninja has to get rid of the sword, and he begins the match. And Ninja quickly attacks Valentino, takes him down with a headlock. Twisted his head, he drops a knee across Valentino's chest, and Ninja takes Valentino down with a front face lock. Another hard chop thrown at Valentino, and chops and controlling his neck and chin locking him. And Ninja gets a few hard chops, as I said. And Valentino makes a brief comeback before getting slammed to the mat. Ninja climbs up to the middle rope and gets that diving headbutt. Get the pin, and pretty good squash from Ninja. Short squash that wasn't that bad or something. Squash matches were there. I mean, both match were squash match. The tag match was a pretty okay match. The wrestling stuff, but still the storyline stuff, and the match had story. The match had character progression, and that was the thing that this episode had. I think that was the thing. But the main event actually stole the show, and this was between Ole Anderson and Roddy Piper versus Don Kernoodle and Tony Anthony. And this was such a good match, man. I mean, Ole Anderson and Roddy Piper worked out very well as a heel, and they worked out Don Kernoodle and Tony Anthony. They're the babyface, not getting the crack to Don Kernoodle. And in the beginning, David Crockett actually talks about how Gene Anderson is out with an injury, but he still shows up as a manager. Piper gets in the match. He grabs hold of Kernoodle's leg. Kernoodle kicks Piper off. Piper gets Kernoodle with a front headlock, but Kernoodle also Piper for a pin attempt. And there was a quick transition by Tone Cordell and Tony Anthony with their quick advantage, with their quick style of wrestling. But Ole Anderson and Roddy Piper eventually were smart, and eventually they actually positioned him into a manner that they can't get the tag, and they actually were difficult to be get along with. And that was the story here. And Tony Anthony gets in the ring and gets a few shots at Ole Anderson. Ole takes Anthony down with a side headlock. He tags in Piper, who punches Anthony in the midsection. Piper goes to work on Anthony's left arm, and right after this, he was working way more onto his left arm. He drives a knee onto Anthony's left arm. Anthony gets in a few punches on Piper. Multiple tags by Ole Anderson, Roddy Piper. Great tag, separating him, not getting the tag to Don Kernoodle. Such a good story was there. And tags Piper back, who punches Anthony again, goes back to work on his left arm. Anthony again fights back, but Piper picks him for a body slam. Ole climbs to the top rope and gets his knee into Anthony's left arm, and he actually tilts his left arm. And this was a surprising result, as Faces didn't win, and as Rowdy Piper actually submitted him with that cinching in that left arm into an awkward ankle, just pushing him that left arm, and that was it. Anthony in an armbar and gets him to submit, and Roddy Piper gets a victory. And after the match, post match, Roddy Piper is attacking again this Ole Anderson, and Roddy Piper are attacking Don Cardona and Tony Anthony, and they are having difficulty to actually having to save Tony Anthony actually. And because of his bad arm, he wasn't able to fight out of both them. And here comes the face. Ricky Steamboat and Jake Roberts run out of the brawl. Such a good story always. And brawl with Ole Anderson, Roddy Piper. This was the same thing that was last week as well. But last week's was so better. I mean, last week there was Jake Roberts as well. So this time, no, not Jake Roberts. We had Jake Robert and Ricky Steamboat. We had another guy as well. I think so. It was. I think so. It was. I don't remember what his name is. I don't remember what his name was, but yeah. Again, this segment was a good way to close out the show. And eventual showdown, a tag team match. I expect Piper and Anderson, Ole Anderson versus Roddy versus this Don. Jake Roberts and Ricky Steamboat. So difficulty to remember those names, because I haven't. I am not very accustomed to these names so much. I do know these names and all I've seen, but that's another thing. And they say it's one thing to. They leave the scene as everyone else goes to the hills runner back, and they finally ends it as usual, ends with a promo. Ricky Steamboat and Jake Roberts join Cordell, and this is the thing that we are talking every week. And this is the thing are upset. They actually beat these guys, and after that they're coming again beating the opponent just to take out from their wrestling career. And this is not acceptable. Just a kind of a very good babyface promo by both of them. And Jake Roberts had also a very good ending as well, where he says, if you expect that I'm not coming to you, like I'm not targeting you, you're very wrong, because I would not be backing down to have any beat down that I can get. So that actually teases that they are going to have a tag team match, and eventual singles match. That would be great, man. Ricky Steamboat versus Roddy Piper, and this tag team match, well, this would be great as well. And this was the ending of this episode. This show was a pretty good episode. Pretty fun episode, I would say. Not the best, that we've been seeing like 2 weeks before or something, but not last week as well. I would say that good two squash match, and in the match was pretty fun. The tag match, opener match was pretty okay, and Jim Nelson match was, I like that match, even though it was squash. And the promo as well, even though that wasn't the way, actually. That wasn't the way. They should have not actually to fill the time. They entirely show the match. That wasn't that good, but still the promos were interesting to see. I don't know, I'm overrating or something, but still a pretty fun episode. Not the best episode. Like, we are seeing a good things build up, and I hope so next week episode be expecting some things again building up. So that's this episode 7th of Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling, 28th November 1981 show. So I hope if you enjoy this episode, please make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel and share it with your friends, and tell me your thoughts about this week's episode, and if you have seen it, what are your thoughts in this episode as well, and what are your thoughts on my review as well. If you like to improve me to improve anything, you can hit it on onto my comment section. I'm completely ready to listen to your comments, your thoughts, and I hope so you enjoyed it. And please be safe, stay energetic, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.